And just in time for Jingle Bells, some big announcements around here coming soon, so stay tuned. It's TGI Friday on the Fun Astrology Podcast. Thomas Miller, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you've had a great week under this full moon that kicked it off on Monday. Ooh, wasn't that just a gorgeous moon? I won't forget that one for a while. All right, we have a lot to do today. Let's get going here because there are several things in the sky of note. We have 2 voids of course that we can be working with this weekend. One is today, begins early this morning. The other is Sunday evening, right after Level Up. Level Up will end on a really good aspect. I'll tell you about that one in a minute. If you would like your own moon calendar to download, Kristen Lawhead puts it out every month on the new moon. The Sagittarius calendar is available from funastrology.com/moon, and you can look at it or download it right there. So the first order of business to set up the next 3 days is this morning, when the moon goes void of course at 8:06 a.m., and it's opposite Pluto, one of those Pluto aspects that we're going to have for what seems like will be the rest of our lives when the moon changes signs, because Pluto is there, right there, at the door. I mean, it's either going to be the first aspect into the new sign after it moves into Aquarius next year, but then it comes back into Capricorn. So it just is there. So Pluto is a fixed item for a while. Saturn, of course, is right inside as well as in the early degrees of Pisces, but at least it's moving forward. So it'll take a while, but it'll be worth it once it moves on. Today's void, of course, 2 hours, 54 minutes, almost 3 hours. The moon moves into Leo at 11 a.m. We have another sign change, as we mentioned as we were scooting out the door yesterday. Mercury enters Capricorn at 9:31 this morning. Mercury will station retrograde December 13th at 8 degrees, 29 minutes, so basically like 8.5 of Capricorn. Traces all the way back to 22 degrees Sagittarius, so it straddles that line a couple of times when it turns direct on New Year's Day. Yeah, I feel sorry for those of you giving holiday presents and gifts to your kids and they won't work. No, I'm just kidding. Don't let Mercury govern your life. It'll be fine. Maybe a little frustrating here and there, but it'll be fine. You might mail your packages a little early, though. Now, before we hop off of today and move on to Saturday, let's go back to the moon for just a second, because there is a good aspect at 9:47 p.m. tonight Eastern Time. That moon, which has then just entered Leo, is in a trine aspect to Mars. So that's a double fire trine. The moon in Leo, Mars in Sagittarius. You could absolutely play that all day. If you want something that you want some fire octane in, do it today. Great day to do it, ahead of that aspect at 9:47. You've got all day. The reason I'm suggesting that is because the next sign change of the moon is Sunday night, and it's not until late Sunday evening when it enters Virgo. But that last aspect on Sunday night is a sextile to Venus in Libra. This is a great moon to be working with all weekend long, and I'm going to point out the better aspects. In fact, let's just do that now. That way you can come back and get all of this in one place, one swoop. So 9:47 p.m., the moon in Leo trines Mars in Sagittarius. 12:44 tomorrow morning. Now, this is a square, but it's to Jupiter. So the moon in Leo squaring Jupiter in Taurus. If you had a situation where that square might work to your advantage, you would do that today as well. And then tomorrow at 6:45 in the morning, the moon trines the sun. So this fiery moon has some nice aspects to it. Then on Sunday, the best aspect is the last aspect. That's the 9:11 p.m. sextile to Venus before it goes void, of course, and then it enters Virgo. So you have a nice big fiery Leo moon this weekend. You can use it. Go back and do what we talked about yesterday even. Practice standing up for yourself a little bit with that Leo moon. Put that mane back and roar a little bit. You can get away with it. All right, more on Saturday. Mercury sextiles Saturn at 10:30 in the morning. You know, you wonder why things are kind of the way they are right now. Because every planet that changes signs, including the moon, has to deal with Pluto on the way out and Saturn on the way in. And like we talked about yesterday, the nodes of the moon are in that warrior-type axis. I mean, I can't even turn the headlines on anymore. Can you? I try to just stay in touch, and I rely on several of you out there to let me know if something happens, because you just almost can't watch it right now. That's this energy. That's why we are keeping our heads down, and we're focusing on the things that we can make the most of. We're choosing to be the bright lights. Did I just mention Pluto? Venus is trying to leave Libra. Well, it has to hit Pluto in a square. That's Sunday morning, 8:30 a.m. Boy, if you are in a relationship, be thinking about that, especially if things are a little tense in your situation. Know that the caterpillar has to go in the cocoon in order to turn into the butterfly. Just know this weekend you have Pluto and Venus with a little bit of tension built in. And that crescendos 8:30 Eastern Sunday morning. Now, 2 more aspects from the moon. I told you we had a lot to deal with this weekend. I hope you're keeping a good list. Or if you have your Honeycomb Almanac, it's all in there as well. Or Time Nomad also would have all of this. So 10:03, the moon trines the north node, sextiling the south node. So there's some karmic lunar stuff going on Sunday. Then just as we'll be saying have a great week, good night on Level Up, at 9:11 Sunday night, the moon sextiles Venus. The void, of course, is short, just an hour and 39 minutes, and then at 10:50 p.m., the moon enters Virgo. All right, that gives us the technicals. The bottom line is we have a really good moon with us for the rest of the weekend. We still have this Venus stuff. It's still pulling away from that south node conjunction midweek. And we have the influence of that square to Pluto all weekend. But it's a wonderful transformational opportunity. So if you have something that you would like to shift, identify it, describe it. If you're in a relationship, talk to your partner about it. Maybe it's money related with Venus. Change something and don't be afraid to make some modifications. Hope you have a great weekend. You know I love you. I'll be back with Ray tomorrow, Financial Astrology. And then see you again here on Monday, and in between those two will be Level Up on Sunday night, 8 p.m. on our YouTube channel and Facebook group. Have a great one. Bye-bye.